Okay, we are set. I think I had everybody muted out, but I'm not sure.
All right, fantastic, everybody. Welcome to our noon live training call today. I appreciate everybody being here, trying to get some more information about how to grow your business. We are open, are we? And everybody is...
I'm not sure because I thought I closed everybody to do the...
Presentation mode is now enabled. Presentation mode is now disabled.
All right, fantastic. What I want to do is leave the call open today, folks, so that everybody will have a chance to ask questions. So if you do have any background noise, please go ahead and press *6 for us, or if we hear an echo at any time during our training here, please just make sure that's not coming from your phone by hitting *6. I really would appreciate it. Now, our last training on live dials, I think went pretty well. We did get the bug taken care of, and it is in the back office. In case you missed it, you can review it. What we're going to do is we're going to do a continuation of that call today, and we're going to go through all the rest of the process that I send people through. Now, the fact that you're on this call today, and the reason that I wanted to make sure that you introduced, is that the people that are on this call today are going to get a copy of my process that I send everybody through in a format that you'll not only be able to read, but you'll also be able to listen to exactly what I say to people so that you can refer to it at any time that you would like to.
Awesome.
I am going to start doing little things like that to encourage more attendance and more people to get on the call and open up. I'm looking at another system here. There's so much in the works, folks. You have no idea. It's going to be incredible. Just in case some of you that are on the call right now missed the announcement, we are having a online seminar the next time we have it. It's going to be October 2nd. It's going to run from 9 a.m. in the morning. That's on a Saturday, and it's going to continue till we decide to shut it down. Right now, we have 13 hours of training already scheduled, and we still have several people that we haven't heard from yet that are going to contribute. So we're talking about going from 9 in the morning till at least 9 at night. That's not including breaks, so we're going to have to put some breaks in there. This is going to be absolutely incredible. Everybody wanted to know how I do my electronic Fast Start book. That is something that I am going to walk everybody through that attends the seminar. By the time I'm done, it's going to be probably an hour and a half, 2-hour training, but by the time I'm done, you'll have everything at your disposal to be able to put together an electronic Fast Start packet if that's something that you're interested in. So if that's something that you're interested in, I highly recommend that you be there. We are going to have John DeLemme there. John is going to speak for up to 2 hours. He is an incredible speaker. Be prepared. Have your recorders. Have your notepads. John will mentally wear you out. He's an incredible speaker. He has so much to share and so much to offer. And I imagine, as always, he'll have one of those absolutely phenomenal specials that he runs when he speaks for our group. It's just amazing what he does. So I would highly recommend that you have a few extra bucks on that Saturday if you have to market another package to be able to have a few extra dollars. I mean, John comes through with a special that I think the last one, it was around $600 worth of his teachings that he let go for $27. So it's just incredible. Make sure you have some extra money for that event so that you won't be disappointed because you can't get those recordings that John's going to offer. I know he will. He always does for us. We're going to ask Stephanie to participate. I'd like her to do a couple different things. Al's going to speak. We're going to have Kim from California and Dan from Ontario. They're going to do some training. Karen and Lenny's going to do some training. Folks, it's just going to go on and on and on. But here's the thing. we're not going to give you the schedule of who's going to do what, when, why, where, or how. You're going to have to show up and spend the whole day there to see what's going on. It's going to be worth your day, believe me. The training that's being put together right now is the best training that has ever been done at any coastal seminar, bar none. And I can literally tell you that because I know what the game plan is. We've had some pretty awesome seminars, but this being online, we're going to even incorporate some streaming video. John will probably do that himself, and what this will be, it's where you can broadcast live and everybody can tune in, and it's a live broadcast. It's just like you're going to be watching him on TV. It'll be just almost as good as him being there. So you're not going to be wanting to do this from the road. You're going to be wanting to be in front of your computer so that you can fully get the full grasp of the training. If you miss this one, I say this every time, and a lot of you probably saying, "Oh, Mike's just blowing smoke again." But I'll tell you what, you miss this one, you're really going to miss something. All right, enough on the seminar, but you're going to hear a lot more about that as time approaches. Believe it or not, it'll be here before we know it, folks. It's August 10th already. Where has the summer gone? Kids will be starting to school here in a few weeks, and I hope you realize that as that happens, it's traditionally in the home-based business market, it always takes off and really starts hammering during that time. So be prepared for an onslaught in your business. You don't want to miss September, October, November. They're incredible months. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't do anything during the month of December because it's Christmas and nobody's ready to... That's baloney, folks. We've had some of our best months in December. You may have to shift gears a little bit. You may have to decide to do a little retail. But think about giving travel, being able to offer travel as a great gift for Christmas. When you talk about even just the level 1 package, to be able to offer that to people, and then they can travel wherever they want. And we say that is not an international package. We don't promote that as an international package. But folks, if you've been back there and you've looked using the cards, there's many trips that you can take and go on condos to that are abroad. So as we don't promote it as an international package, there are many, many vacations that you can take abroad just with the level 1 package. And you get people started with that, and they get a taste of that and want to travel more abroad, then it's easy to move them up to that level 2 and on to the level 3. But I know I'm not doing what we're talking about here, but I'm just trying to give you a little heads up about what's about to occur in your business so that you can do a little planning. You want to make sure that you have yourself ready to go and start getting in the groove now and get in the habit of making as many calls as you want between now and the time school starts. But as school starts, your business is going to take off. It always does. And it'll go like crazy through November. And then sometimes it does start to slow down. But you know why I think it slows down, folks? Is because everybody's been brainwashed that December's a wasted month. And I can tell you personally that has not been the case in my business. And the reason it hasn't been the case in my business is because I do business as normal up till the week of Christmas. Then I take the week of Christmas off and usually the week after. Just be ready for an onslaught. And then after the first of the year, we've got 2 weeks there that we don't do a lot. But then right after the first of the year, people have made their New Year's resolutions. They're ready to try something new and different. They're ready to move on with their lives. And you find that that's a great time to do your business too. So we're coming into some of the best time in the business to be prepared to really make a difference in your income. So I'm telling you all this so that you can get your planners out and know that summer sometimes can be a little slow, but again, it's all according to your mindset. You know, there's a lot of people think we're in the worst economy ever. Don't tell John DeLemme that, because he totally believes we're in the best economy ever. And you know what? His people that he's coaching, they're all having record-breaking sales in just about every industry that there is. It's a mindset, folks. Absolutely a mindset. And if you listen to the naysayers, you know, you're going to be like the people you hang out with. If you're listening to the garbage, that's what's going to come out of your mouth. That's what's going to be your thought process. It's going to be garbage. It's going to be negative. If you hang out with positive, forward-moving people, and you can do that personally, you can do that through associations of reading, listening to CDs. All this stuff is very, very important. And if you listen to any of the great speakers, you'll find out that that's what they do. They spend 2, 3, 4 hours every single day doing their own personal motivation, listening, reading. Because, you know, folks, if you don't put something good into your head, there's no way something good can come out. You got to program that so that it can and will come out the way you want it. I know everybody wants to be positive. I know there isn't a person on here that wants to be negative. But you have to feed your mind on a daily basis. We feed our bodies usually 3 times a day. You got to get your body so in tune, your mind so in tune, just like your stomach is. If you don't feed it, you miss a meal, it starts growling at you, doesn't it? Well, you know what? If you feed your mind enough and you miss a meal feeding it, it's going to start growling at you too. And you need to condition your mind to make sure that it growls at you so that you get what you need on a daily basis. Now, some of you are saying, oh, Mike, that's bull. Well, go ahead and think that. It's certainly you're right, but all I'm doing is trying to tell you what all the successful people in the world do. And I'm just not saying me. I'm talking about people like Zig Ziglar, John DeLemme, Gary Eby, all the people that have made successes of their lives. There's a pattern there, folks, and you need to develop that pattern. Enough of my soapbox. All right, where we left off the other day is Pam was helping me, and Pam, once again, I want to tell you did an extraordinary job. I appreciate it so much. Are you game to help me again today?
Sure, that was fun.
All right, fantastic. I appreciate it very much. Now, as I remember it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we were at the point that we had just sent Pam onto the business presentation. Is that where we left off? Does everybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to assume that Pam has gone to the business presentation. Let's assume that we heard her introduce herself, and she is now sitting by her phone with bated breath, waiting for me to call her back and answer any questions that she has, okay? So, Pam, dear, your phone is ringing.
Hi, Mercer Summer Home, summer in and summer out.
And she does answer the phone that way.
Outstanding. Well, Pam, I love a person with a sense of humor. I love the way you answer the phone. That's incredible. You know, I just may have to steal that for you. That is great. Hey, Pam, I'm calling. This is Mike Stalling, and I'm calling back to see what you thought about that business presentation. I heard you introduce yourself last night, and I want to thank you for doing that. But before I get started on answering your questions, which I'm sure you have quite a few, let me ask you this. What part of that business presentation did you like the best?
You know, that's a hard question to answer because there was so much good stuff on there. I really liked the way you went into the pay thing and kind of broke all that down so that it was so understandable. I love the pictures of the vacations. To think that people really went there, and the testimonies of people that are already doing this business and they're being successful with it. and I think just helping people. I mean, it just comes across with a business that is just involved with people and helping people. It was all good, all of it. I loved it all, but I do have some questions.
Well, fantastic. I'm glad you did enjoy it, Pam. Those are some of the things. When I first saw this, I really liked the fact about the testimonies and people telling their stories. That was one thing that really stuck out to me, too. I really liked the fact that you could set your own hours and the days, and you could see the pictures of real people that actually were on vacation. That made a profound impression on me, too, so I can sure relate to that. So you've got some questions, and that's understandable. So let me do this. Let me go ahead, and I assume you've got these written down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fantastic. Well, go ahead and hit me with your first question. What can I help you with today?
Okay, it's just some concerns that I really have, and I'm not a salesman, Mike, and that's the only thing that kind of scares me. I'm not one that can go out there and just try to talk people into doing things. So do you have to have some salesman qualities for this?
Pam, let me ask you this, and I'm going to answer you with a question for your question. Can you call people up that's already indicated an interest in what you're doing and give them a toll-free number just like I gave you?
Sure.
And then can you direct them to the movie site like I directed to you?
Yeah.
And then can you get them on the business presentation site?
Yeah.
That's about as much selling as we do. What we do is we walk people through that very same process. And as they go through the process, they sell themselves. Let me just ask you this, Pam. Are you pretty sold on what you saw?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really liked it.
Now, I want you to think back for a minute. Did I high pressure sell you? Did I even talk about you buying or trying to sell you anything?
No, you never did.
So if you do what I do, then you're not going to have to be a salesman, correct?
That's right. That's right.
There's the answer to your question. No, you do not have to be a salesperson. We have all the tools set up to lead people through the process. At the end of the process, just like with you today, you're either going to be interested or you're not. And that's why we've made it so simple. What we have, Pam, is so good, we don't have to sell it. People want it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it really does. And another concern that I have, I was thinking about this too. I mean, I realize it's not a scam. You've already made me comfortable with that. But I'm just kind of concerned about putting that money out, and what if I don't make my money back?
Well, Pam, that is a concern. As you start any business, you're always concerned if you're going to get a return on your investment. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front that I cannot personally guarantee you that you will make money, but I will tell you that many, many, many people that are in Coastal make good money every week just by simply following the system. Here's the thing. The system works. It isn't a question as if the system will work or not. It's the question here that you have to answer, and it's going to answer your question. Will you work the system? Will you do what you need to do to become successful? If you can answer that positively, then I can tell you, yes, you will make money in Coastal. But if you decide, well, I don't know if I can send people to that website, I don't know if I can send them to that business presentation, if you'd have answered no to that, I would have told you this probably isn't for you. But the fact that you can follow that simple process, you can do this business and you can be successful. And here's what you have to understand too, Pam, is I'm going to be your personal mentor. I am going to teach you every single thing that you need to know about this business. I am going to work with you on a daily basis if that's what it takes to get you where you need to be. I am actually going to help you close your first few sales so that you get qualified and that you're in the money. And now, if you can duplicate just that simple process of calling people up, sending them to the 800 number, sending them on to the movie site, and then getting them to the business presentation site, and then watching how I bring people into the business, then yes, you can be successful. But listen to this. Worst case scenario. Let's say you get in and you buy the package and you decide, well, the boss just gave me a $1,000 a week raise, and I'm kind of happy where I'm at. You know what the worst case scenario is going to be, Pam? You're going to be able to travel the world for pennies on the dollar for the rest of your life. Isn't that a good fallback position?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, fantastic. I hope that answered your question.
And so you're going to stick with me until I'm successful with this. You're not just going to take my money and I'm never going to hear from you again.
Pam, not only am I going to help you, but we have a team that we've put together that, as you've seen on the presentation, we have 18 different training calls every week. If I would die tomorrow, you could plug into the system, and it would help train you to get where you need to be in the coastal business. Doesn't that give you a good, warm, fuzzy feeling?
Yeah, because I don't want to be left out in the cold by myself. That's happened before, and I really don't feel that coming from you guys. I feel like you're really there to stick with people until they're successful. Well,
you should know this, too, that if something would happen to me and I wouldn't be able to help continue your training, there is always somebody above everybody else in the business that if that person, something happens to them, some reason they can't continue on, then you would automatically be shifted up to the next person so that they would help you do the training. So you're going to be fully trained no matter what happens.
Oh, okay. That's comforting. And then another thing that I was thinking about is that I really don't have that money right now. So is there some kind of program or something where I could go ahead and get started doing this and then I can pay you as I start making money?
Well, Pam, let's do this first. You're absolutely positive that you don't have the money to get started. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can appreciate that. Most people that I talk to, they tell me that up front. But in working through a little a process that we do to help people find the money, I find that most people really do have the money to get started. They just don't know where to look. So here's what I'd like to do before we do anything else, since you brought up the money right now, and that's always a concern. I understand that. Hey, here's what I want to tell you first, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to help you find that money, okay, so that we can get you started. I don't want you to be concerned about it. That's going to be my job. I'm going to help you find that money. Now, does that make you feel better?
Definitely.
All right, fantastic. So here's what I'm going to do. We have what we call a file that's 30 ways to invest, and it has helped many, many people that were looking at the coastal business to go ahead and get started, okay? And what I want to do is I want to send that by email to you here in just a few minutes, as soon as we're off the phone. And
okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to briefly go over that. I want you to look at it and see if anything jumps out at you. Then in about a half hour, I'd like to call you back and personally go through that with you step by step to see how we might be able to come up with the money to help get you started. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, but can you make it about an hour and a half?
That's not a problem. Let me make sure here in my schedule. Let me look at my planner here. Yeah, so we're talking, that's 2 o'clock, and are we talking Eastern Standard Time or?
Central.
Central? Fantastic. I will put you down on my calendar then, and I'll make sure I get back with you in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Any other questions that I can help you with, Pam, before I let you go for right now?
No, I can't think of any others right now. You really did a good job on that webinar, answered a lot of those questions, and my biggest concern is, being able to be successful with this and make that money back, and where am I going to get that money?
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll make sure you make that money back, and I'm going to help you find that money. So when you get that file, please just take a few minutes to go over that and just become familiar with it. And then you and I will go through it piece by piece, and we'll see exactly how we're going to be able to get you started.
I do have one other question.
Sure, go ahead.
So what, in your opinion, is actually the best level to start at? And where did you start at?
Well, Pam, I jumped in at the level 1, and I moved up to the platinum package very quickly because I saw that I didn't want to get left out on those big commissions. I, like you, had to look for the funds to get started, and once I found the funds, then I was able to go ahead and upgrade to the platinum package because, you know, when it all comes said and done, Pam, it takes just as much work to market a level 1 package as it does the platinum package, and with the level 1, you end up making $1,000. With the platinum package, you make $9,705. So when I looked at that, I said, you know what? If I'm going to do the work, then I may as well make the big money just as soon as $1,000. So that really made sense to me to be able to do that. And besides that, if you start and get all 3 packages at once, you're going to save $1,295. It's actually like getting the level 1 package for free. So there is a great savings there, and once you're qualified there, then you'll be able to make the $9,705, and that really appealed to me.
So if you can't get the money to start at the top, but you can get the money to start at the basic, there is a way that you can go ahead to go right from basic to the top?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you remember back when you were watching the business presentation, it did talk about that. You're able to upgrade from any level package to any other level package at any time in your business. So let's say you do get started with the level 1 package, and then a couple of weeks from now you decide, okay, I'm making money now, and I want to reinvest in my business. So you decide to move up to the level 2 or the platinum package. You're allowed to do that without any recourse at any time.
Good, okay, because I was thinking if I can't get the money right away to start at the platinum, I still would like to get started, so maybe I could start basic and keep looking for the rest of the money.
Exactly, and we'll be happy to work with you at whatever level that you decide you come in at. But if we can find the money for you, Pam, I'd really like to see you get started, maybe at least at the premier level, because there you'll save $800 on the combination of the level 1 and the level 2 package. And you know what I always do for my people, wherever they start, if they start at level 1 or level 2, if I give them 30 days to upgrade between the time that they get started and the time to upgrade, if they'll do that within that first 30 days, I always honor either that $800 or the $1,295 discount. I give them that price break. So that gives them incentive to move right on up to the next package.
Well, let's say that I had to start at basic, but within that 30 days I could go on up to premier, and then another 30 days I could go on up to platinum. Is that still going to be honored?
Well, you know, I don't normally do that. If you work really hard, by the time the first 30 days are up and we get you trained and you're really moving, I give people the 30 days, but I don't extend it on beyond that 30 days. So it's something that if you really want to get that savings, we need to make sure that we either find the money or we help you earn the money to be able to do that within the first 30 days.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all the questions I've got. If you can go ahead and send me that thing you were telling me about, then I'll look it over and then talk to you at 2 o'clock.
Fantastic. And what I'll do, Pam, I'll put my name in the subject matter, Mike Stalling, so you'll know that that's the email that you're looking for, okay?
Okay, thanks, Mike.
All right, fantastic. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, fantastic. Great job, Pam. Just excellent. Absolutely.
Thanks.
And just so everybody knows, Pam, did we rehearse this?
Not at all. I've been sitting here looking over them facts and questions thinking, what can I ask him?
All right, fantastic. Any comments or questions? If you press *6, you'll have to open it back up. Give me just a second.
Hey, Mike, Susan, Alabama.
Susan, go ahead, please.
I'd just like to say great job, guys. You know, if we didn't know better and didn't know that Pam was already a standing member on this team and you just, maybe have gotten in late or something, you would have thought that was just a call that you had made to someone you were just initially prospecting, for that final step there. So great job.
Fantastic. Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome.
Anybody else, any questions or comments?
Laura in Ontario.
Laura, please, go ahead.
Awesome job, you two. Pam, that was awesome. I loved it. You kept grilling him, and I love that. That's awesome. You did a good job, both of you.
You say grilling, but you know what? Pam asked me legitimate questions that are legitimate concerns for anybody that is starting a business. You know what? When people ask me questions, I welcome them. I don't get all upset because, I got to answer all these questions. When people ask you questions, folks, that shows genuine interest. Those are good buying signs. When you get somebody on there that doesn't have a question, I always wonder, okay, is this a flake? Is this person just, pulling my chain? They're going to send me $1,295 or $11,000 and they don't have a question? I mean, I know that our system is pretty good and it does address a lot of the questions, but, before I sent my money to somebody, I had a few questions. So if you're getting questions, just learn how to answer them, folks, and don't get all uptight about it. You should be excited when you get a question, and just be laid back. Don't come across as, now I got to answer that question. Why can't they just get in? The questions are a part of the process. You just have to learn to answer them, and don't be intimidated. Just answer them to the best of your ability. Now, I guarantee you that anybody on here that's been on this call for a while could have answered any of those questions. Does anybody on here right now, be honest with me, could anybody here could not have answered those questions for Pam? If you could not, say aye. Okay, so that's cool. Everybody could do that. Now, we've got her to the point that she's going to go through the 30 ways to invest. All right, let's assume. Now, what you have to understand, folks, you have to go through this with people. Sure, you can send them that 30 ways to invest, and when you call them back, some people might say, hey, I saw something that I'm going to try to get the money. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to try to get a loan. I forgot I've got a credit card. I can just go ahead and use it. I can get the money from my family. I've got this motorcycle that I don't use that I'm going to sell. There's so many things there, and just so that you know, folks, that 30 ways to invest is being updated. Everybody that's okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Everybody that's nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for another call. But there are additions to that 30 ways to invest that are going to be given to people that are faithful on the calls. Okay? I'm going to be doing special things like this off and on to encourage people to be on the calls. So everybody that's here today is going to get my process. And then on down the road, we'll have the 30 ways to invest when I finally get it done. It's not only going to have the 30 ways to invest, but there's going to be a lot more ways to invest. And it's not only going to be in a PDF format. I'm not going to leave it in a PDF. I'm going to put it in a PowerPoint so that I can actually do a voice overlay. So that it's like they open it up and it's going to be me, or you can redo it yourself. We'll have a class on how to redo it if you want it to be your voice. And you'll be able to do a voice overlay where you're actually speaking to them about every possible way that they could get into the business. That is going to be a tremendous time saver for everybody. And I think it's going to be an outstanding tool that everybody will be just really accustomed to using before too long. Does that sound cool to everybody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. So I know that Douglas and Susan thinks that it's great, so I'll make sure that they get a copy of that.
I said
Hey,
yes.
right on, Susan.
For sure.
Try them to get any response.
Uh-oh, Mom's getting irritated. Look out.
So be careful. I'll say ma'am.
And you know what I told you would happen.
All right, folks, if you're new on here today, please understand, this is a business. We do a lot of training, but we have a lot of fun doing it. We consider each other friends and family here on this call, and it's just one happy group of people that are glad to be associated together, and we do have a lot of fun. So if you're used to corporate America and stiff shirts and ties and three-piece suits, just kind of kick your shoes off, loosen that tie, maybe take off the jacket and just relax, because we're going to have a good time here despite everything. All right, fantastic. All right, as we go through that then, you're going to send them the file. And then, of course, I set up a time that Pam and I are going to go through that. Now, we can run through that step by step. Everybody knows what's in that at this point. But the key that I have found is that you go back and take the time. Folks, that is so incredibly important. You can send them the file, and maybe they'll find something. That's great. If they do, then you're off and running. But if they don't, it's because they just skimmed it. They didn't explore all the avenues and all the possibilities. But you as a friend, key word there, folks, you as their friend now, you take the time, something that people get very little of today. You're going to give them your what? Your time. The most precious commodity that you own. You're going to take the time and you're going to go back and you're going to help them with that. But Mike, I don't have the time. Then you're not going to be successful. Not to the degree that I want to be. Maybe you're happy with a $50,000 income, and if that's what it is, outstanding, folks. We meet everybody at their needs. If you want $25,000 extra, that's fantastic. There's a lot of good in the world that I can do with the more money that I make. There's so many things that I want to help other people accomplish, that I want to be able to give as far as charities go. And I have to make an extreme amount of money to be able to do what I want to do. So I'm always thinking big time. A very wise man once told me, your dream should be so huge that God himself has to intervene to make it happen. Some of the best advice I ever got, folks. It's okay to have small dreams. And you ought to have one so big that you're going to have to get a supernatural miracle to help you achieve it. Is that being greedy? No. What are you doing with the money? If you're just spending it on you, then yeah, that might be a little greedy. But if you're taking care of the people around you, the people that you love and respect, people that have done things for you, and if maybe you want to help out the veterans, or maybe you want to help out some moms with kids that, the dads have disappeared, single moms, they have a tough way to go, man. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's many things that money can do, folks, that are great causes. Money's not bad. It's not good. It's what you do with it that counts. So don't get hung up on money. but you're going to give them your time. And as you do that, you're helping them problem solve. That creates a friendship. You know, how many times have you heard me say, you got to make friends. You got to win people's trust. That is one of the tools to help you do that. You're just starting a relationship with people at that point. If you're skipping that part and you're not getting the results that you want, may be part of the reason, folks. It may be part of the reason. Now, I'm not the world's utmost salesperson. I hold my own, but I don't know it all. But I've picked up some things along the way that have worked for me. And all I'm trying to do here is trying to impart them to you so that maybe in some small way they can help affect your business in a positive way. So if you're doing something, and let me throw this disclaimer out, if you're new on the call and you're working with a mentor, just take what I say right now and just go ahead and put it on the shelf. Work with your mentor. Do what they tell you. It's their job to make you successful. Then after you're free, you're qualified to do what you want to do, then by all means, if you want to try some of the stuff we talk about here, not only that's put out by myself, but some of the other great leaders here in Coastal, feel free to do that. But until then, stick with your mentor, and I'll talk to them and do what they tell you to do. Because, folks, they are your lifeline. You know, that old phone a friend thing, that's your phone a friend card right there, your mentor. So always listen to what they have to say. Now, I don't think we need to go through the 30 ways to invest. Is there anybody on the call right now that is not familiar with the file that I'm talking about? If you don't know what it is, please say aye. Okay, so everybody's familiar with it. There are some other things, like I said, that we're putting together for that, and we'll make that available. But until then, this is a great file. There's many things there that will help people work. Okay, so let's assume this for training purposes. Let's say we go through that whole 30 ways to invest, and we can't find a thing. Nothing works for them. They just, every single thing there, they've said, Mike, I just can't, there's nothing there. It just won't happen. Is there any other way I can get started? All right, Pam, you up for it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, fantastic. All right, we're on the phone. We have just went through the 30 ways to invest, piece by piece, and you just told me that nothing there looks like it'll work for you, Pam, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, Pam, you know what? I understand that. It has helped many people get started, but, you know, in some instances, it just doesn't work. Now, I have to ask you a question here because I'm going to put myself on the line here, and I want to make sure that you are dead serious about this, that you're not just playing me, that you really went through that list, we went through it, and you cannot come up with the money. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Now, folks, that is a fair thing to ask because you're going to offer them something now that is pretty profound. And this is totally 100% legal, so don't worry about, is this something that I can do? I'm telling you in advance, it is something that you can do. So that'll ward off all those questions. And Pam, you really believe in what you saw, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I want to do this, Mike. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to get money together for it because my credit's not that good.
All right, Pam. Well, I told you initially that I was going to get you started no matter what, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
All right, well, we're going to do that. But here's what I want you to understand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the opportunity, and I don't do this with everybody, because you seem like you're somebody that really wants to do this business, and you seem like you're a person that I can trust. I am going to give you the opportunity to earn your level 1 package. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, if there's a way I can do that, yes.
All right. Now, I want you to understand something, and I'm going to explain the whole process to you here so that you're not mad at me later, okay?
Okay.
That sounds fair?
That sounds fair.
All right. It's going to cost you a lot of money to do it this way, okay? Here's what it means. If you earn your package, you know, as you watched the business presentation the other night, you ended up having to pass, getting your package yourself, and then passing up 2 other people. You understood that part, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. Instead of you passing up 2 people, you're going to have to pass up 3. So
okay.
You're going to have to make 3 sales, and when you make 3 sales, then I will order your package. Now,
so the third sale is like what I would have purchased.
Correct. I'm glad you followed that. That would be the package that you would have actually purchased. So therefore, I'm not out any of the money that I would normally receive for training you.
Okay, and you'll help me make all 3 of those?
Yes, I will.
All right.
Now, don't get too excited because I'm going to tell you something here that may change your mind. Now, understand this, that every person that you pass up is worth $33,000 to you, plus.
Wow. I'm going to make you rich.
Pam, the idea is to make you rich. But yes, by doing this, you're going to be passing up that extra person, and as the whole situation unfolds, it's going to cost you that extra person, which in reality is going to cost you $33,000. And I want you to know that up front. I don't want.
Yeah, true, but if I don't do this and I can't get the money, look at how much more it's going to cost me. If this is my only avenue to be able to start this, and I so appreciate you for opening this avenue for me, because if there's nothing else I can do to get the money, at least I can get started, and I might pass up $33,000, but I also have the opportunity to make that much more eventually if I can get started. If I don't get started, I'll never make anything.
Outstanding. Well, you know what, Pam? Just your attitude and the way you came back with that answer, that makes me glad that I have chosen you to be able to do this for. I don't do this for everybody. I want you to know that up front, because when you start doing that for people, there's no money up front for me. So I'm putting my faith in you that you're going to do what's necessary as I train you, and I have no upfront money to guarantee that. You do understand that?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I really appreciate you taking the time with me to do this, because we really do need this extra income, and I am motivated and I have the desire to do it, and I appreciate you giving your time to me, even though I am going to have to earn this and you don't have any money in your hand.
All right.
I really appreciate that.
Well, that's fantastic. I'll earn my money on the backside. That's not a problem, and I'll make even more than I normally would, but I'll do a lot more work for you in the meantime. Now, what we have to discuss next is how you want to do the business. Did you enjoy the fact of how I showed you the business? Could you feel that you could do that?
Yeah, I like that. It seems like an easy system. It just, the steps are right there, and yeah, I can do that.
Okay, now there is one condition that goes along with this that I'm willing to work with you. And this is something that you're going to have to determine how much money can you put into advertising for your business every week or every other week.
Oh, gosh, to start out with, I might be able to come up with about $100 a week.
Okay, fantastic. All right, now you're sure you can come up with $100, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to develop a plan of action that we're going to put together, and I'm going to base it on the fact that you can come up with that $100 every single week to be able to get leads for people that we can call together. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I will somehow do that.
All right, fantastic. All right, Pam, what I'm going to do then, based on that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that, yes, I will work with you. We'll go ahead and we'll get some leads ordered. Let me ask you this then. when do you want to get started doing the program?
As soon as possible.
All right, fantastic. Well, this is Tuesday. Let's do this. What I want to do is I'm going to send you out my Fast Start packet. Normally I don't do this until I receive the money up front. But again, I like you. I think you're a great person. I trust you. I'm going to send you that out. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to devour that. It's going to come by you send it, and all you'll have to do is download it. And what it's going to do, it's going to walk you through the process of getting your website set up. They're free for a full month, so don't worry about the charge for that. It's going to give you some great training, and you'll be able to go through this. And what I want you to do is I want you to be on every single call that you can be on this week, as many as possible, because I want you to get real familiar with what we do here. Now, if you'll write this website down, it's www.officialcoastalinfo.com. Again, officialcoastalinfo.com. Now, if you'll go there, you'll be able to see the call schedule. Okay. And what I want you to do is be on as many of our training calls as you can for the rest of this week. And then over the weekend, if you have some time, I want you to really devour that Fast Start package. Now, a
lot of training in it for me then.
Yes, there is, and you'll be able to go through that, and you'll get a feel for exactly what we do, how we do it, some other avenues of how later that you can do Coastal. It's going to have some motivational books for you to read if you want. There's going to be some audio files in there. It's going to be quite extensive. So just get through what you can get through on that, but make sure you get your website set up. If you have a challenge getting your website set up, go ahead and give me a call, and I'll be sure to help you to walk through that. It's pretty self-explanatory, though.
Okay, and is your number in that Fast Start book, or do I just call you at the number you just called me on? I have a caller ID.
Yeah, you can call me at that number, but also my two business lines, my cell phone number, my email address, my toll-free number, everything is listed right there in that Fast Start package, so you'll be able to reach me 24 hours a day, basically.
Okay.
All right, then next week what we'll do is towards the end of the week, we'll talk again, and we'll set up a time where we're going to work together next week, and we'll get your leads ordered. So make sure that you do have that $100 ready to go at the first part of the week, and we'll start calling leads, and we'll start getting some sales for you, and we'll move you through the process.
I am so excited about doing this. You know, I've looked a long time, and I haven't ever found anybody that took the time with me that you have. And that's what I've been looking for, because I feel really safe with this. I feel like, you know, I'm not going to be out in a boat in the ocean by myself. You're going to help me. I can be successful of this. Thank you so much.
Well, that's quite all right, Pam. I want you to think about it this way. Right now, I'm the captain of the ship, and you're the first mate. But what I want you to do is I want you to learn everything that you possibly can so that someday you are the captain of your own ship, and you're going to bring on first mates, and you're going to turn around, and you're going to pass this incredible opportunity on to people just like I am to you. Is that fair?
Yeah, yes, truly. I want to treat people like you've treated me.
All right.
I truly
fantastic.
do.
All right, well, Pam, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I'm going to get that Fast Start package out to you. Make sure you go to the info site, and I want to hear you introduce yourself on as many of those calls as you can. Just give your first name and the state that you're from so that we know that you're there. And you know what? We're going to make this work for you.
Thank you, and I'll talk to you at the end of this week?
Yes, I'll put you down here to give you a call on Friday.
All right. Thank you.
You have a great one, Pam.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Questions or comments, folks? Great job, Pam.
That was...
Did we lose everybody?
Douglas, Florida.
Hey, Douglas, go ahead, man.
I thought you guys did a fantastic job. I really did. I appreciate it. There's one thing. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. There's some background noise, but we'll work.
Okay, there's one thing that I thought maybe, I know you have addressed this before, but it would probably be a good thing to think about to address on this call because it would be part of it, is if you go back and talk about the upgrades, because you threw 30 days in there, and that somebody not familiar with the system wouldn't understand what the 30 days was, and then they'd really be messed up on figuring out what you're upgrading and how you're upgrading and what the upgrading means.
Yeah, without a doubt. And normally, I let Pam take control of the conversation there. Normally what I do when I call them back is I will ask my questions before I let them ask questions. And part of that, and let's do that so that we clarify that. Pam, are you up for it?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to back up here to where I just called you from the business presentation. You've already told me what you liked about it and everything. And before I answer your questions, and that's how I'm going to do this. Well, Pam, I know you've got some questions, but before I answer those, and I promise to spend as much time as you need for me to answer those, listen, I've got just a couple questions that I need to ask you first. Is that fair?
Sure.
All right, fantastic. Well, Pam, the first thing I'd like to ask you is this. Based on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most and 1 being the least, how interested are you in getting started with Coastal?
Oh, I'd say a 10 plus.
All right, fantastic. Actually, I think I was about 100 when I first saw this. I was so excited, I just about blew the guy that was showing it to me off the planet. He was really put way back by my excitement, so I understand that. That's fantastic. Well, one of the other questions I need to ask, Pam, is do you see where you could make money with Coastal?
Oh, yeah, I really do.
Okay, fantastic. Now, this is kind of a silly question, but I need to ask it. Are you interested in making money with Coastal?
Yeah, it's the only place I've ever seen that you have a commission like that, and the system seems so simple.
All right, fantastic. Well, then let me ask you this, Pam. When do you think it would be a good time to get started with Coastal?
Oh, I'd like to get started learning how to do it right now.
Well, outstanding. Well, Pam, let me welcome you to the Coastal family.
Thank you.
All righty. Now, one other question, Pam, and this is really important. I want to know that now that you've decided to get started, where do you see yourself coming in at? Do you see yourself making $1,000 commissions, $3,200, or $9,705? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I'd like to make $9,705.
All right, fantastic. You know, everybody wants to start at that level, Pam, and I didn't start at that level, but I soon upgraded to that level. Let me go through, and this may make a bearing on it, what each investment is to help you get started here. To get started making those $9,705 commissions, there is an initial investment of $11,000. Now, does that fit into your business plan?
Not really.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I understand that, and believe me, there's a way later on that we can move you up to that. Well, let me ask you this. If we can't get you started there, the next step is to make the $3,200 commissions, and there's an investment there of $3,995. Is that available?
I'd have to look for it to find a way to get that, but that might be more feasible for me.
Okay, fantastic. Well, with that in mind, let's try to find a way to come up with that $3,995. Now, right there, folks, you want to stop. You don't want to continue down. You always go for the platinum sale first. Now, I don't care if they tell you they don't have any money right from the get-go. If you follow this procedure, it's going to bring people in as platinums. Is it going to bring everybody in as platinums? No. But if you don't mention it, they can't do it. I know a lot of people that they're scared to death to ask for $11,000. Folks, I've had people tell me they're broke, didn't have any money at all. And I've seen them get started at the platinum package. So always mention it. And once they decide, well, yeah, maybe just like Pam said, maybe I could come up with that $39.95. Don't go down to the level 1. Stop there. I'm telling you, always get as much money up front as you can. That is going to give you the extra added advantage of having the extra money to being able to help that person even more. Now, trust me, if you're new in the business, you're saying, well, I'd just be happy with $1,000. Great. But if you're happy with $1,000, you're going to be elated with $3,200. And if you don't need that extra $2,200 per sale, then give it away to charity. There are some people right now all over the world that could use that extra $2,200. Think of the good that you could do with that. So if it ain't all about the money for you, collect it anyway and give it away. Because there's people that need it. So they say $39.95, and then you move on to collecting that money. Now, at that point, and this is what Douglas was mentioning, at that point I will tell people, well, you know, Pam, I know you said you'd like to get started at that $39.95, and you know that's a great thing because it's actually going to save you $800. Because if you get the level 1 and the level 2 at the same time as what you're doing here for $39.95, you actually save $800. And that's
really?
Yes. So that's a good reason to do that. Now, I want to make sure that you understand too that if you could find the money to come in at Platinum, $11,000, you would actually save $1,295 on the combination of all 3 packages.
So that's the same as getting the first one for free, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that makes you very perceptive. I appreciate the fact that you saw that. That's outstanding. So as we're looking for the money, let's do this. Let's look for the $39.95, but if we can find the $11,000, that is the very best way to get started because you're going to do that later anyway. I promise you, it's just the way the system works. As a matter of fact, 90% and more of the people that get started at any level do automatically move up to the Platinum package because they don't want those commissions going around them. And I'll explain all that later, but believe me, you'll end up going Platinum before it's all over. So you may as well, if you can afford it, if you can get that money, go ahead and get it right from the very start.
So maybe I should actually start looking for the $11,000, and then if I can't get it, I know I could come up with the $39.95.
Outstanding. And see, folks, that is the mindset that you're trying to create. We haven't even talked about the $12.95. We have given them reasons to look for the big bucks. Again, if you don't broach the subject, you can't make the sale. If all you're telling them is about that level 1 package, and maybe you're only a level 1, but how do you ever expect to become a level 2 or level 3 if you don't talk about the level 2 and level 3? Now, where the 30 days would come in is after the fact. We've talked about the money, and Pam says, you know, I can't find the $11,000, but Mike, I did come up with a $39.95. Well, Pam, that's outstanding. You know what I'm going to do for you? If, in fact, because you really wanted to get started at that Platinum package, if in the next 30 days, Pam, you do find the money, I'm going to honor that discount just the same as if it was today. Okay? So what I'm saying is if you upgrade to that $97.05 commissions, the Platinum, then I will go ahead and give you another $400 discount on that because that's what you would have got within if you'd done it today. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So that's how you incorporate that in. And folks, that is not going against the official system. That is within the official system rules and guidelines. You're just extending that discount that's available for somebody on that very first day. And by doing that, you're giving them another added incentive to go ahead and upgrade at a later date. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Douglas, did that help out, bud?
Yes. There was still another part I wanted to ask, but that's okay. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead. Ask your question.
When they get ready to upgrade from the level 2 package to the level 3, do they still have to bring the 2 other people with them that's at that level, or how are you doing that?
Well, I do it the way the official system orchestrates it. It's been that way since.
Okay, I was just asking.
Sure, no, that's always. I make no deals. The only deal I ever give anybody is this. I offer them that particular scenario. I don't ever discount a package. I may do things as an incentive for people to move up to platinum. A lot of my platinum people I have ordered leads for. I have gave motivational training that at my expense, CDs and things like that as an incentive, but I never, please understand this, never discount a package. But it's not unheard of, it's not wrong to add incentives built into your personal package on your platinum package to enhance it even more, to give that person another reason to make that decision today. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
If Douglas is done.
Douglas, you finished?
Oh, yes. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. So when you offer that 30 days, if that person comes in at Premier, and let's say that they are able to come up with the rest of their investment to go ahead and go on up to the platinum level before they've had any sales come on, so they haven't had anything to pass up to you because they have been able to get their money quickly enough. Are they still going to have to give you 2 Premier sales in addition, to their platinum?
Yes, you have to qualify at all 3 levels. All your people have to pass up 2 level 1s, 2 level 2s, and 2 level 3s in addition to buying a package themselves. That is how the Coastal official system works.
Okay.
Now, if somebody comes in at Premier, say your first sale, say you come in at Premier and somebody comes in at Premier. Now, that is a level 1 and a level 2 qualifying sale. And the easiest way to do this, everybody, since we're on the pay plan, we're way past time, but let's do this real quick so that everybody understands. Everybody get a pencil and a piece of paper.
Hang on, babe. Mess with my chicken fraction. There you go.
All right, everybody got it?
Got it.
All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put across the top Bill Murray. Bill Murray just got in the business. Hang on just a second, buddy. I'm going to...
Presentation mode is now enabled.
I'll open back up for questions after I explain this, but this is very important, so I want to make sure everybody gets it clearly. Now, off to the side, I want you to put L1. I want you to drop down a little bit. I want you to put L2, and then I want you to put L3. I assume everybody has got that done. All right. Now, Bill has gotten in, and let's say Bill got in at level 2. He bought a Premier package. So, what does that consist of? That consists of a level 1 package and a level 2 package. So, right beside that, level 1, I want you to put a mark to indicate that there's one sale there. Then I want you to drop down to the level 2, and I want you to make another line, because he purchased 2 packages, the level 1 and the level 2. That's the combination of the Premier package. So there is 2 packages that he's qualified for now. He needs 3. His plus 2 more. So Bill goes out, and with your help, let's say Bill brings somebody in at Premier. His first sales of Premier. What's going to happen here? That's 2 packages again. One at level 1 and one at level 2. So you put a mark at level 1, you put a mark at level 2. So he's well on his way to be qualified as a level 2 member. One more platinum or Premier, and he's qualified. But only at that level. Let's say the next sale that Bill gets is a level 1 sale. All right? Put a mark there at level 1. Now, Bill has gotten 3 level 1 sales made. I want you to circle those 3 marks, and I want you to write beside that qualified. Now, Bill is qualified at level 1. So now he has the right to earn commissions of $1,000. Let me open up.
Presentation mode is now disabled.
Any questions so far? Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to mute everybody out.
Presentation mode is now enabled.
All right. Let's say the next sale old Bill makes is a platinum. So what happens here? Well, you can go ahead. A platinum consists of what? All 3 packages. So just for training purposes, beside qualified, put 1 on level 1. Then put 1 on level 2 and 1 on level 3. Now, guess what? Because he sold a platinum, he is now qualified at level 2. That was his 3rd level 2 package, and he has 1 in the hopper for platinum. Now, how does Bill get paid here? Well, Bill is qualified beforehand. Before he made that sale, he was qualified for level 1. So out of that $9,705, out of that package, Bill has earned $1,000 of that. So write $9,705 down at the bottom of the page, and I want you to take $1,000 from that. That means you are going to make, being his mentor and sponsor, on that sale, you're going to make $8,705, but you're going to write Bill a check for $1,000 because he was qualified for that sale. Now, he was not qualified at the time for level 2, so he doesn't get that money. Okay? Now, what happens if, then let me open up, make sure everybody got that.
Presentation mode is now disabled.
Everybody get how that works? That makes sense to everybody. Okay, fantastic.
Presentation mode is now enabled.
All right, now, write the word qualified beside your circle on level 2 where you circled those 3. Now you can look at Bill's file at any time Bill is making a sale. Now, you've released him as a level 1 and a level 2 qualified director. So if his next sale is a level 1 or level 2, he orders it right from the shipping center. You're not involved. He makes all the money from those 2 sales. You don't have to order the packages anymore. That is his responsibility. He is qualified level 1 and level 2. So let's say his next sale is a level 2. Then he makes $3,200. He takes care of that person. He takes care of everything. But now, let's say next week he sells a level 3. Put you a mark down there by level 3. So there's $9,705 profit there. He is qualified to earn the profits from level 1 and level 2. So that's a Premier package that comes out of that because it was sold all 3 at once. So you take $3,200. That's Bill's money, because he's qualified on those 2 packages, and you subtract it from that, that is $65.05 that you earn, and he earns $3,200. Now, he can order the first 2 packages, and you can order the 3rd package, because he can't. He doesn't have a director's release. He can't do that. Now, let me open up.
Presentation mode is now disabled.
Real quick, does that make sense to everybody? Does that make it real simple to see how the system is supposed to work?
Yes.
Fantastic. So with every person that you bring into the business, you should have a sheet like this. And every time they make a sale, you want to put a mark beside it so you know what's going on, not only in your business, but their business. Now, as they become qualified at each level, they're not going to report to you anymore, but there's no reason to. Your interest in that person as far as monetarily is fulfilled. They've completed that obligation to you. So it's none of your business, quite frankly, how many sales they make after that, except unless they're having trouble, and then you always want to make yourself available to be able to go back and help that person. Because remember, they have passed a small fortune up to you, and your job as a mentor is never, let me repeat that, is never over. Because not only have they passed that up to you, folks, that money, but they've passed other people up to you. And those people have passed people up to you. But it all started with that first person, Bill Murray. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
Where we left off was he is qualified 2 times for level 3.
Correct.
But he has not upgraded to level 3 yet.
No. Now, if he's made 2 sales, now it's totally up to him. He never has to go ahead and purchase that level 3 package. Okay? Never has to do that. But every time he sells one, if he does not upgrade, he's losing $65.05. How long do you think it's going to be before old Bill says, "Oh, duh, I think I better upgrade to platinum"? So when old Bill upgrades that 3rd time and he says, "Hey, Mike, I'm tired of giving you $65.05 every time I sell one of those. I want my platinum package." Well, Bill, send me a check and we'll get that puppy ordered for you. So he sends you the check. You take the money. You put a mark down there that he's done his 3. You circle it. You write qualified beside you. And old Bill is totally qualified.
Oh, so he's qualified even though he hasn't passed up 2 sales since he upgraded.
Yes, as long as he has 3 sales, that's all that matters. Or after it doesn't matter.
His sale is one of the 3.
Right, his sale is one of the 3. What you're looking for is 3 sales that come from each individual at each level. And this is the easiest way I've ever seen to explain this.
Evelyn, Pennsylvania.
Evelyn, please, go ahead.
Before you were talking about if the person didn't have the money to get started and they went through the 30 ways and they still didn't find a way to get started, that you were offering them a way to start working their business and bring you 3 sales. How does that fit into qualifying?
It works the very same way. Instead of them getting their own personal sale, that would be 3 sales that they made and not bought a package. In other words, instead of them getting a package and then making 2 sales, they would make 3 sales, and then I would purchase their package for them. Does that clarify it?
So when they have brought you the 3rd sale and you send them their package, do you also give them a level 1 receipt?
Yes, I certainly do. That way they're on their own, they're qualified. It works the very same way as if they purchased the package themselves.
Okay.
Randy, California.
Randy, California, go ahead.
Now, do you do that same thing at the same scenario you were just talking about? Once they passed up their first 2 platinum sales, but they haven't purchased one, now if they pass up the third, now are they qualified?
If they want to do that on the second and third level, yes, I will do it the very same way. But what you're going to find is that most people are going to sell a bunch of level 1s, and it's just a greed factor. We all have a certain greed factor. They don't want to pass those up, and they'll end up purchasing their package that way. To answer your question, Randy, yes, I would work with them at the same level. If they didn't have the money and they wanted to go ahead and do the 3 for each one of the levels, then I would do that.
You don't do this every time.
No, and just like, yeah.
And everybody this is how you do it.
Understand this, folks, and Peg brings up a very good point. This isn't something that I throw out there for everybody, because if you do that, you're going to be spinning your wheels.
Everybody else is going to be doing
Because a lot of people that say, oh, yes, I will do that, and I'll have the leads. Here's basically what this does for you, folks. It is going to weed the people out that think they're serious and are really not. And in the interim, it is going to allow them to purchase leads for you. Think about it. In reality, they're purchasing leads that you're going to run with them, that those sales are going to come to you. So if you're in a position that you need leads and you would like to have more leads but really don't want to invest more money of your own, this is a great way to bring people in, help them, and at the same time, they're helping you because they're coming up with the money. Now, if somebody says, well, gee, Mike, I really like to do this, but you know what, I don't even have the money for leads, then I can't help you, man. As much as I'd like to, if you can't come up with at least some marketing money, then I can't help you. I'm sorry. Because then you are just giving them a hand out, not a hand up. And the country is already doing that enough for enough people. I will not be a part of that. I'm sorry. Any other questions?
Douglas, Florida.
Douglas, go ahead, man.
But in other words, if you really ran into somebody that, like investors, a lot of time investors, especially if they've been investing in houses, they believe in doing whatever they can do without any money, their money in it. They just don't want to do that. So in other words, I could look. I got a friend of mine, and he was looking. He said, well, you know, figure out how I can do this thing. I don't have to come out of my pocket because, you know, I'm not on for spending my money. I said, okay. So what I was thinking of, and I was going to ask you, I wouldn't be doing any violation if I said, well, okay, how about free? How would that do you? And he would probably say, yeah, that sounds good. I said, okay, you bring 3 and $100 expense, and I'll give you your package.
You can actually do that, Douglas. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Here's the terminology that I use. I never say free. I tell people if you don't have the money, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put a lot of sweat equity into the business. Are you willing to put some work into the business and some marketing money? If you're willing to do that, then I'm willing to help you.
He's got the money. He just don't want to spend it. That's the way he is.
Yeah. Well, then, Douglas, I would tell you that he hasn't really seen the value of the business. If he has money and he doesn't want to get started, then he hasn't really seen the full value of the business.
Right. You're right. He hasn't seen it. He won't even look at it unless he figure out how he can get it without putting his money in.
Well, I'm probably going to tell you, Douglas, that is just a put-off.
You got a point there.
So if you're really serious about wanting to help this guy, go ahead and offer him that, but understand that he's liable to just come up with another put-off, because it sounds to me that if he hasn't taken the time to investigate what he needs to, then he's really not serious.
You got a point there.
Okay, bud. And again, I try not to burst anybody's bubble, but I'm just going to give you what, as a trainer, what I need to give you to help you to be successful. So as I do this, I hope I don't offend anybody, but I have to tell you the truth. I have to tell you what is real. Otherwise, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Evelyn, go ahead, please.
On the test of seriousness for those kind of individuals, what you're saying to do is to have them sign up for the Focal Point back office and agree to spending $100 on leads every month, but that's the test for seriousness?
The first test comes if they went through the steps that I asked them to go through, Evelyn. I would never do this with somebody that was not accountable enough to go through the process. First of all, they have had to leave me that personal message. Then they have to have gone and watched the videos, and I checked to make sure that they actually did watch all the videos, and they watched the amount of seconds that they should have watched. I checked that on everybody that I talked to. Then they have to have gone to the business presentation. They would have had to announce themselves like I asked them to, because if they aren't accountable enough to go through those 3 steps, quite frankly, I am not going to waste my valuable time with somebody that can't follow those 3 simple directions. Does that make sense to everybody?
Absolutely.
But if they'll do that, and then they're willing to commit to putting the money up for leads, and they understand, please do this because you don't want people mad at you. Always make sure you tell them that it's going to cost them a small fortune to do it with the 3 pass-ups. And don't make this a habit. Don't do this to everybody that you talk to, because then you're just spinning your wheels and you're trying to live off of money that is going to come someday. And you can't do that. You have to have so many people that pay up front. The first rule of any business, folks, is to turn a profit. This is not a charity situation here. This is a business. I love helping people. I do a lot of charity work. But business is business. And you always have to remember that. I love to be able to help every person that I talk to. But understand this, and it's a cold, hard fact. You cannot help every single person that you talk to, as much as you'd like to. I know every one of you has got a great heart, and you'd love to help everybody that you talk to. But I'm telling you, it just is not going to happen. That's the coach in me. I have to tell you that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic, folks. We are way over time. I appreciate all your questions and your enthusiasm. Did everybody get something out of the call today?
Oh, yeah.
Great call.
Thank you.
All right.
Fantastic.
Then it was worth everybody's time. I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
We are going to have our regular calls tomorrow night, folks. Al's call is going to be a webinar. I will be doing the call. Al is out of town again, and it will be the first time that this is done as a webinar. I'm putting it together later today. I've already got a start on it. It's going to be pretty cool, so you may want to be there and take a look at that. It's going to be a pretty outstanding call. So with that being said, thanks again for everybody being here. I do hope you got something out of the call, and we'll hear you on the calls later today. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, all of you.
Bye. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam, Pam.
Presentation mode is now enabled.